Today we're going to be doing one of these really creative line designs that you can make full of color, making all kinds of collages of lines and color to make these beautiful pieces of art. The art element of line. Look at all the different kinds of lines that you can make for this project. Lines that are zigzag, like a mountain. The blue lines are dashed. It reminds me of the lines that you might see on the road. Straight lines that are thick or thin, but they're both straight. Lines that are wavy. Lines that are bumpy. Curly, spiral. The gray is curved. Castle lines or mouse ears. There are so many different kinds of lines, and even lines that aren't even on this piece of paper. Again, beginning with the end in mind, our goal is to create a few lines onto a piece of paper that overlap, touch the sides of the paper, and that we can color. So let's go ahead and take a moment and read a book all about different kinds of lines. This is a book called Lines That Wiggle. I hope you enjoy the different, interesting lines that you can see in this book. This is a book written by Candace Whitman. Lines that wiggle. Lines that bend. Wavy lines from end to end. Lines that tickle. Lines that sprout. Again, focus on all the different lines you see in these pictures. Bugs have lines that stick right out. Ooh. Lines to trap. Lines to hide. Two lines running side by side. Lines that curve. Lines that curl. Underwater lines that swirl. Lines that crisscross. Lines that mend. Lines with doggies at the end. Lines that scurry. Lines in threes. Lines in leaves that grow on trees. Lines that twist. Lines that sway. Lines that swish the flies away. Zigzag lines light up the sky. Rainbow lines are way up high, like that curved line. Lines are everywhere you look. Find some lines not in this book. The end. There are lines everywhere. The lines that you might recognize easily, as well as lines that are hidden. Now, as you get started on this project that we've shown at the beginning of the class, I want you to start off drawing 5 or 6 lines. Lines from the book, lines from the poster that we saw at the beginning of class. And as you get your sheet of paper, I want you to begin with a pencil. I want you to draw those lines that start on the edge and they go all the way to the opposite side. going off the edge of the paper. Try not to have them go from one side to the other side. Okay, they can for some of them, but you don't want them all to go across like a piece of paper. You're making a piece of artwork. You're not writing in a notebook. So I want you to go ahead and think of all the different kinds of lines that you could do for your project. Now before I continue much further, I want to show you some non-examples, things that you should not do. Please do not draw your lines itty-bitty small. These lines are going to take a very long time to outline in Sharpie when you are done in pencil. It's going to take you a very long time if you draw lines like this. They are so small, okay? I would rather have your lines be very big because remember they have to go all the way from one side of the paper to the other side of the paper. And once again, we don't want to have our lines go just straight across as if we were writing in our notebook paper. We want to have our lines go in different directions. If you want to repeat some of your lines, by all means you can. But we do want to see some overlap of your line shapes and designs. Okay, so there's 3. Let me do a bumpy line. And just to make it interesting, because right now I'm starting to think, gosh, Mrs. Foxen, some of your lines are just pretending like they're like that notebook piece of paper. So I might even just turn it around the opposite way like this, because I really want to do something different. How about a curved line? Nice and big. Okay, so right now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could stop there, but I think I want to do a few more. How about, see, thinking, how about another, I might just do, how about a zigzag? I haven't done any zigzag lines yet. Crisscross, drawing them nice and big. Okay, now go ahead and take a moment, show Mrs. Foxen. You can outline your work in black after you show Mrs. Foxen. And before you do that, you might want to take a moment, put your name on the back. And then also write first grade and your teacher's first initial. Thanks. I also wanted to take a moment and show you another non-example. These were the sides that had some things that were wrong. They were just a little bit too small than what we want to see for this project. But I also want to show you what happens if you use more than 6. If you have a lot of lines or they keep going in the same area, it's going to be very confusing on where to color. So again, just keep it down to 5 or 6 lines, but don't have them overlap too much or it becomes too crazy.